Scalping gold. First thing I'm going to do on the right, I'll open that chart full screen, go to a 15-minute, and you want to just pick up this range with a anchored volume profile. So the high to the low, okay, I'll pick it from that candle. And the other thing I want is a picture. So I want to grab this and this low from here right through, okay, extend right. Okay, so we've got two volume profiles. From there, I'm going to come down to the lower time frame, and we have a bit of a roadmap here. We'll go down to a 2-minute, maybe even, 2-minute chart. All right, now we're going to throw in the volume momentum. I would sell here, stop above, and we'll just see how we go with that. Okay, so let's just assume that we're in this trade now. Okay, we just went short on that red signal. It's okay that it's repainting, it's fine. The other thing that we have is these are in the red zone in here, right? And there's a pretty good chance that gold will drop, especially when both of these are in the zone. See how both of these indicators are in the zone, and back over here, both of them were in the zone here. This is a 2-minute chart, so both indicators are in the zone. See the red signal here, and we've got the indicator on the high is up in the zone, so we just mark that. Okay, and then what we do is we look for the next red candle, and that would have been our short there. Just a very tight stop. Okay, the very next candle. See back here, both of these are in the green, down the bottom, here and here. So when both of them are in the same spot, either in the red or the green, that's your opportunity. Make that trade. All right, so now we're just waiting. We're in this trade now because of the setup here. We've got both of these in the red zone, and I went in on that. It flashed red here, but that's okay. This will repaint according to the trend. The main thing is that we've got these alerts that have already established down in here, right? So we'll just run on that, and when this starts flashing red, then we know to get involved with it. What we're doing here is we're just open this up. We're now trading this range, looking to target, firstly, this red. You'll see there's a red line running through here. That's the point of control. That's target 1, and this blue line is target 2. Okay, so now we're currently studying the move. Now this is a little bit, well, scary, if that's a word, because if we go out of here to the 15-minute time frame, see this line here? It's bullish. So this is a counter trend trade, and we've got a breakout of the our cluster, our VWAP and volume profile cluster with this M signal here. So you want to think twice about whether you want to be trading counter trend. Right, so it's in a very bullish trend at the moment. What you could do, rather than going against the grain, is look for, if it's in a trend, look for that. And, you're looking for a red to turn green, then you take that, rather than attempting to counter trend trade it. This is not ideal, given that it's counter trend, and we're heading into that. Right, so what you want to do at this point is pull your stop loss to break even very, very quickly, and don't take the risk. So let's do that. Right, so now we're at break even. If it hangs in there, then that's fine. If not, and that stop loss gets taken out, well, we haven't, there's no risk. Well, so we just sit on this now, see how we go. Yeah, that's a big support right there. Okay, so we could hit that and head back. Yeah, but this is scalping, counter trend, risky, but we're up slightly, depending on your risk as well. Let's have a look here. Okay, 2-minute chart. This really confirmed my trade back in here. Now, if you took that signal, our entry point could have been, well, back up in here. Okay, on that red signal, that's way up. Now you could have a look at that on the 1-minute chart. 1 minute's a lot faster. So see how the red signal kicked in early on the 1 minute? So you would take the next candle short, and that red signal then sticks. Okay, once that's closed and that red triangle is there, and we go to the next candle, that remains. So you just got to wait for the next candle to confirm it. So you've got, on the 1 minute, you've got these down in here. Okay, so both of these indicators are in the red zone. and then you've got that signal here. I mean, that's your first confirmation way back up in here, especially this, right? So if you took that trade, you'd be well and truly. See the blue dot? That's when you want to exit. So that would be an exit point. And if you took that trade, well, you're up 3R. If you took the red signal in the next candle and you exited on that blue dot, well, there's nearly 2R. Now see the green signals coming in here? That's when you exit now. This blue dot and on these two green signals, that's where you close that trade. And that is scalping gold. And I would look to go long based on these signals here and the fact that the higher time frame is bullish. So now all I'm waiting on is a green signal here. So go long on these two signals, 1 minute chart. But wait for this to turn green here. The confirmation. We're above VWAP. That's a good thing. But that would be my my trade here. Stop loss will just be on that low. Going in a bit early. We don't have the full confirmation with a green candle yet, but I'm just running off of these two here. And you know, you can just run, well, the 1 minute might be a bit difficult because you get green and red in a mix here, you know, when it's, but you won't be taking these trades. Why? See, because down the bottom, we don't have both indicators in a green or a red zone. This one's in the red zone, but this one down the bottom is not. So there's no trade. See here, look, see how these are both coming out of the green zone down in here, right there. All right, and then your trade is going to be on that green signal, but watch out. That's a stop run, I think, just under here, possibly. Got to look out for that. Let's just take that off. Yeah. Well, our stop loss was just here. You know, you can just run with, I mean, we got away with that, but if you had a tighter stop, you would have got taken out on that one. Right. So then we get another green candle. See how this is a big green triangle and a big green thing here? That's a really good signal. So you go long on that. You'd be looking to trade on that next green candle. But these two together, it's a really good signal. All right, now see how you get these red signals up in here, but this indicator is not in the red zone. So you want to wait for this to get into the red zone, for both of them to be in the red zone. And it's not always going to be, you know, these are both in the red zone, but it's counter trend. And, you know, the question is, do you really want to be trading counter trend? It gave you that. And you would exit that on the first green candle. So I would be very, very cautious about when it's pushing out a VWAP like that, bullish. You don't want to counter trend trade that, honestly, guys. Just use a bit of common sense. But if you did, you want to cut your trade on that first green triangle. That's a break even then. So let's just have a look. See, both of these are in the red zone here. You know, but wait for the next red candle. That's why I'm saying, like, wait for a red candle. These are in the red zone. That's all through the red zone here where my mouse is. All right, so just hang in there and wait while these signals play out, and then you see a red or a white candle, preferably a red candle, and then it confirms on that next candle. So that's where you get into your trade. See, we don't have a green candle here yet. We've got two green signals, but we don't have a green candle confirmed yet. All right, so you want to think about that. Anyway, what I do like about it, it's above VWAP. Yeah. So that's really all you gotta wait for, all you gotta look for. You know, if we go back, wherever you want to go, see how we're above this blue line and we're above this here. You really only want to be taking long buy opportunities when our indicators are trending up. So if that's the case, come back into here and look for, see where these are both in the green zone. Well, that's your trade. We looked at that. So we're only going to be looking for green opportunities. Well, we don't have both of these. Both of these were in the green zone back down in here. So if we mark that up, okay, this is in the green zone. They're both in the green zone right there. And this one leaves the green zone here. So we look for our next green candle. Take it on that. Stop loss under the previous low. Oh, you got the dots from the, I would use the dots on the, this is the trend channel, these dots underneath. I would use those for a stop loss, or just go under the previous low if you want to go tight under here. And that was a really nice outcome. See, it was range bound for a fair while though. eventually took off. 1 minute chart. So let's just go back and have a quick look. We've got where both of these are in the zone. So they're both in the red zone back here. See that? So where do they both leave the red zone? Okay. This is here where everything leaves the red zone right there. Both indicators. So what we're looking for is the next red candle. And again, it's going to be flashing on and off until the next candle. So as soon as that next candle paints, that establishes that. That's non-repainting at that point. So that's your entry point short on that second candle after the red signal. Stop loss, well, you've got red dots right there, or above the previous high. Scalping, that was counter trend as well. So do you want to take that risk? So just look for when both of these are in the zone. Well, I mean, you can take this risk if you want to. When both of these indicators are not necessarily in the zone. If it's trending up like that, and you get this triangle, and then you get like this this crossover here, that's okay. You can take that as long as it's trending up. Okay. I much prefer to be trading with the trend, to be honest. But then again, they're both in the green zone down here. See here? Both in the green. It starts to leave the green here. So mark that up. We're looking for the next green signal. And you want to get above, see the blue dotted line? You want to get above that. So after this here, and then down here, all right, this starts to leave the green zone. Next green signal here, and especially above, see the blue line? This is an A+ setup, right? Then it starts to turn around here. Really nice setup, that one. Stop just under there. Okay. So they're both, that's leaving the green zone back in here. That's the point of no return there. And then we wait for the next, you just set the alert for the next signal. That was a really nice look. It just kept going. All right. And, depending on how well you managed it. Yeah. So coming back. Okay, here's our trade. All right. Now, when are we going to exit? As soon as we see a red signal here, or we see an orange dot. So now we're up about 1R. Okay, scalping gold. You could even take partial profits here and move your stop loss up to there and then hang on to that. All right, so this is both of these leaving the green zone. Point of exit was there. Okay, have a look down the bottom. Right there. So these two signals. And given that the higher time frame is bullish, that's an ideal setup. It's what you want. So that's the pullback and then continuation. That's a nice trade, that one. So what you can do is set these alerts on the 1 minute chart. When they go off, check to see whether both of them are in the green or the red, right? So this one here, if you just want to sit on gold, add alert, that any signal, fast or slow, okay, once per bar, close, create. So that's this one. And then this one here, add alert, and it's green or blue, exiting any zone. That's the one. Create. Okay, so when one of these goes off in the alerts log on the right, come in and have a look. And the key is, were both of them in either the green or the red zone, and are they starting to exit? So if you just got this signal here, that's leaving the green zone, but this is not. So there's no trade there. So you don't touch that. Okay, let's just say that signal fires. Well, this one would fire first. Is this one up here in the green zone? Yes, it is. So you'd be looking for that next, what we just did then. Okay, I took that trade a little bit earlier. I took it on this indicator here because you've got this one in the green and then this one coming in after. So I took that trade, and the higher time frame was bullish. We're above VWAP, right? So, you want to be running with the trend. Open up. Yeah. And if you want to just run with that trend, always then look for this blue line here, and you've got a blue and purple line here. That's VWAP. There's a purple line underneath that. And then you want to be, this guy to be bullish as well, and big purple here. So everything bullish. Then on that pullback, you take that next green signal. The other thing you keep an eye on is this range. We traded down into this resistance, support I should say. Okay, back into it. when we get up into this blue line, you want to be careful because you could look for a counter trend if you want to. So, you know, you could be just trading this range through here. I'll show you. So just using what I showed you, like look for the buy. You know, we're looking at these blue lines on the volume profile. Then, you know, there's a counter trend there. Comes down, you know, back up to the high. Short back down. Okay, the point of control. Okay, so you work between the high, the low, and the point of control using our double click, using these guys. Last but not least, yeah, combine the support and resistance with the volume profile, and these two exiting green or red. Hope you understand what I'm on about here. Okay, your levels of support are here. This is the point of control, and here. So it trades down into support, starts to leave, and then you want two of these leaving the green zone. Then you take that trade. Trades back up to the high, for example, of the volume profile, and we're both in the red zone here. All right, take your next one short. Trades back down to either here or here. So if it hits here and starts to turn around, okay, right, that's your cue. All right, so that's scalping, and you can use this on any instrument. Bitcoin, you know, forex, euro dollar would be a good one. Go with tight spreads. Euro dollar's usually got pretty tight spreads. You know, go with an ECN raw account, or you know, with a Fusion Markets 0 account, so you don't have spreads to deal with. All right, that's scalping gold, guys. You can try it for free, 14 days, and then it's only $29.95 after that per month to gain access to more than the indicators. You get my Discord trade ideas, daily mentorship, okay? In Discord here, you get the mentorship, you get these trade ideas, and this is really nice now, okay? With that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.